You are very skilled at what you do, or have this amazing idea and want to build a business around it. Wondering if you have what it takes? I'm Max from LifeHackerMax, and I got something for you that almost nobody talks about. Failure. Yes, failure. Sometimes failing spectacularly is the best teacher. I spent over a decade building businesses, but never quite hit that jackpot. We all seen the Instagram-worthy version of entrepreneurship, right? Be your own boss, chase your passions, freedom, flexibility. It all sounds like a dream. But the truth is, it's not always sunshine, fancy cars and motivational quotes. In this video, I'm getting real about my entrepreneurial journey. The epic fails, the tough lessons, and why it might not be for everyone. Let's jump in. Let's be honest, being your own boss, it's pretty darn cool. You set the hours, chase your passions, and turn those wild ideas into reality. But that freedom comes with some serious baggage. You might have to say goodbye to lazy Sundays, face a truckload of self-doubt, give up on some of your beliefs and moral values, and maybe even become someone you don't want to be in order to succeed. The question is, are you willing to make those sacrifices for the chance to build something truly yours? There's nothing wrong with wanting to be successful, and there are people that manage to find balance between growing a successful business and not stepping over their principles. I have come to know quite a few over the years and even had the privilege of building a long-lasting collaboration together. But in my case, there were a few roadblocks that kept tripping me. Here's the thing, becoming an entrepreneur is not as easy as joining some courses, going to seminars, or watching YouTube tutorials. Believe me, I tried them all. By doing all of the above, you will learn what you need to become in order to be a good businessman. But in the end, it will come to you to decide if you are okay with becoming that person in order to succeed. And there are also some things that you can't change about yourself even if you wanted to, despite people telling you that you can. There are some specific skill sets that your brain will simply refuse to accept to comply with, no matter what you do. Public speaking, for example. Most, if not all of the reasons for me failing as an entrepreneur have to do with my personality, values, life goals and aspirations. Some people kept on saying to me time and time again, "You must be doing something wrong." And it took me long enough to understand that it was not that I did something wrong. I was the wrong thing that led me to fail in building my business and making money. To make things more clear, is not as much as failing at business as it is more on the lines of not making it a successful one. Because I did manage to keep my business going for more than 13 years in a bunch of fields such as advertising, 3D printing, prototyping, construction and interior design, giant 3D sculptures. And without modesty, I will say that after 16 active years, I still get calls from old clients and partners asking for advice or asking me to get back on the horse because they still wish to work with me. And since I managed to offer great products to my clients, build a good client base and get amazing feedback for my services, why do I keep saying that I am a failure in business? Well, because this is not enough either. In order to build a good business, you have to make profit, invest wisely, and scale that business in a healthy way. Things that I failed terribly on. And weirdly enough, I'm still failing as we speak as a YouTube content creator. Despite all of those amazing positive comments from you guys, despite all of the effort I put into my videos, and despite the skills and knowledge I gathered over the years, I still can't seem to reach a financial balance that I can say I'm satisfied with. And it all seems to be linked with me and my personality traits and the way my neurodivergent brain works in today's society. Let's get down to business and talk about the reasons behind me continuing to fail as an entrepreneur. First, I started young and hungry, but without any experience or knowledge to navigate the business world. Jumping in at 19 meant missing out on valuable mentorship and connections that could have helped me avoid some early stumbles. Imagine a teenager trying to negotiate with
grown-up sharks in suits.
With all of my friends and connections being still in school, you can imagine how small the selling opportunity was. Once you reach a certain age, when your friends also have jobs or start their own businesses, it is so much easier to call them and say, "Yo man, let's have a coffee and see how we can work together. Let's help each other out." By starting at a young age with almost no knowledge with what I was doing, I lost a lot of time learning on my own, building the skills, and I lost money on materials because when you don't know what you are doing, you mess up a lot. And that comes out of your pocket. If I would look back at my decisions, sure, it was a great adventure. It was fun and satisfying to research, learn and develop all of those skills on my own. But was it a good decision from the business point of view? Probably not. I would have been better off spending a year or two getting a job, learning those skills from experienced people and maybe getting some insights on how business is done on a larger scale. Another hurdle? My own self-worth. I undervalued my skills and the expertise, which meant I constantly undercharged for projects. This led to chronic underpricing for projects, basically working a million hours for peanuts. Not exactly the recipe for success. In business, everyone is trying to get the best deal for what they buy, and when you don't know your worth, it is so much easier for the client to negotiate a low price for a high-value product. Undervaluing your work can be detrimental to your business, and sometimes it is better to say no to a deal rather than selling yourself short. 3. I also have this moral compass that gets in the way sometimes. It's a stubborn little thing. You see, the business world can be a bit, shady sometimes. It is not enough to have a good product, you also have to sell. And through my experience, in order to succeed, people will resort to all kinds of tactics to sell their products by any means. They will lie, deceive, or even use tactics of manipulation, emotional or psychological. You can sell in an honest fashion, of course, but you will never reach the same numbers in this manner. And I just couldn't bring myself to lie or trick my clients. Let me give you a recent example of what constitutes lying for me and why I believe I keep failing. Because even in the YouTube industry you have to resort to lies and deceit in order to make it as a successful content creator. One of the reasons that made me decide to become a YouTube creator was to exclude the selling part from the equation. And it makes sense, right? All I have to do is to make great content and YouTube would place ads on my videos, show my videos to a bunch of people, and I would make money without having to sell anything. Wrong. In order for YouTube to show my videos to people, it is not enough to make good content. I have to sell my videos to make them visible in such a way that the algorithm thingy would promote them. And in order to get the best results possible, I have to resort to lying, deceit and manipulation tactics, like using clickbait titles and thumbnails, which is a form of lying, like keeping you hooked by changing the frame every few seconds or so, which is a form of psychological manipulation. Don't make the intro too long, use call to action at a specific time in the video, cut the ending in the middle of the sentence and so on. Those are all tactics that help keep you engaged and the algorithm promoting my videos to more people. But at the same time are lies and deceit tactics that take out so much from the artistic side of the video and make me feel so much more like a con artist rather than a content creator. And here is where another question comes in. Am I willing to succeed in my business by all means or stay true to myself and successfully fail at what I do? I'm actually growing slowly thanks to all of you, and I'm going to take this opportunity to say that
if you find my videos valuable, you can support me to keep making content by becoming a patron following the link in the description. Advertising.
4. Family priorities. Building a family also threw a curveball. Trying to balance a growing business with family life was a constant struggle. Having kids can be time-consuming, emotionally and physically draining, especially in their early stages of development. It felt like I was always neglecting one for the other. Owning your own business is not the same as having a 9-to-5 job and the financial stability of that job. Sure, you can make your own schedule and choose to stay at home with your kids, but staying home with your kids also means you are not working. Therefore, you don't earn any money. And there comes a time when you have to make a choice. Am I going to be a great parent or a great businessman? You can do both, but you can't do them at peak performance. At some point you will sacrifice one for the other. So what do you choose? Your career or your family? I chose both for a while and I failed at both. Something had to give, and in the end I decided to focus on my family. That's how I found myself here on YouTube. It's a different kind of journey, but one that allows me to focus more on my kids, but still do what I like, share my knowledge, my mistakes, and hopefully help others avoid the same pitfalls and maybe make better decisions in life. 5. I didn't do it for the money. I did it for the projects. Prioritizing cool complex projects over financially sound decisions definitely contributed to some tight financial situations. In my line of work, I was constantly getting into complex and amazing custom projects, but with a low budget. And if you are passionate about your work and the project at hand is winking at you, you just can't resist. Sometimes I would make some profit, sometimes I would break even, but there were times when I would have to spend money to complete a project. Aside from that, I was constantly trying to innovate, testing out ideas, trying new things that would involve spending money on materials and tools that would not bring profit. And this brings me to some wise words I heard from a business investor that sound something like this: you don't want to make money, you just want to play. And he was right. So ask yourself this question every time you take on a project. Am I doing this to make money, or am I doing it for the fun of it? And if you pick the second choice, then you will most probably fail in business. 6. There are some skills that can't be learned or go against our being. For me, public speaking is one of them. Public speaking is a great skill that can help boost your company by raising brand awareness. Interviews, holding seminars, workshops, networking, and so on. And having social anxiety makes it so much harder to go out and meet new people, interact, and grow your network. I spent years researching, studying, and tried a lot of strategies to overcome my social anxiety, and none of them worked for me. Many people will tell you to go outside your comfort zone and you will overcome that fear. Stepping too much out of my comfort zone got me feeling even worse about speaking to a crowd. I did some bad interviews before deciding that interviews are not for me. If I would have known from the beginning that I simply can't overcome this fear, I wouldn't have invested so much time trying to develop this skill. So, invest in your strengths and stop wasting your time focusing on the skills that don't fit your profile. 7. Knowing too much can also be detrimental to your business. Again with the modesty, right? But seriously, growing as a small business, I had to do everything myself and I developed all the skills necessary to make everything on my own. I'm also picky and a perfectionist. No matter what I make, it has to be as close to perfection as I can. And so, when my business grew, I hired some people thinking they would take some of the work from my hands and free my time to focus more on other aspects of the business. And knowing how things should be made, I often found myself doing the job with the rest of the team watching me do it. Best advice here: train them well and leave the people you hire to do their job without interfering. Also, knowing to accurately define your strengths and weaknesses can be useful. It could have been a better idea for me to hire people on sales and PR and free more time for me to do what I do best. Instead, I failed by hiring people to do my job and freeing up time for me to do something I'm not good at. Number 8. I never sold anything. I only did consulting. Believing in selling solutions, not just products, definitely hurt my business. Even though I studied and researched the art of selling a lot and came to learn almost all the tricks in the book, I was never fond of selling anything to anyone, but more on the lines of selling the right product for the right purpose. And so I would consult with my clients and never sold anything without being sure I was selling what they needed. I would even send my clients to my competition if I thought that would be the best thing for them. And this is another reason for me failing. So, did I fail? Well, by the suits and tie business standards, maybe, but the experience, the lessons learned and the scars that tell a story, those are gold. In conclusion, there are some mistakes made that can be corrected, but there are some things that simply go against my personality and will always get in the way, making business life difficult for me. Knowing that, do you still think entrepreneurship is for you? Leave me a comment. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more honest content from yours truly. I'm Max from LifeHackerMax, and hopefully this video gives you the courage to chase your dreams with your eyes wide open, knowing there will be bumps along the way. Thanks for hanging out with me on this journey. See you next time.
Bye bye!